So we're going to have the candidates introduce themselves, and we're going to have 2 rotations.
Hi, my name is Anna Paula Vega. I'm a third-year chemical engineer, and I'm running with the Orange Party. I'm looking to be your next BCOE's.
Hi everyone. My name is Ali Malik. I'm running for CNAS Senator. I'm currently a second year.
Hi everyone, my name is Brianna Javier. I'm a second year bio major running to be your next CNAS Senator with the Orange Party.
Hi, my name is Zina Mohammed, and I'm a second year Poli-Sci International Affairs major, and I'm running to be your next CNAS Senator, with the Orange Party.
Hi everyone, my name is Aramari Payton. I'm a third year Poli-Sci major, and I'm running to be your CHAS Senator with the Your Side Party.
Where's the table?
Hello. Hi, my name is Jessica Baker. I'm the moderator of the Senatorial Debates, and let's get started. All right, so the first question. How would you guys like to improve the university experience of your constituents of the college? Of your college, sorry. So going down the line with you. Yes.
Hi, I'd like to improve the college experience of BCOE community specifically by making us feel more connected to the rest of UCR. I feel like at this point in time, our college, because it's so small and most people don't know what engineers do necessarily or how we play a role after these years here in college, so we feel a little closed off and not connected to the rest of the students. But if we brought awareness about what engineers do, their professions, and how we contribute to society after our years here at UCR, then we feel more connected. And I also think that if we provided them with the same academic resources as other schools like CHAS and CNAS, for instance, we don't have SI sessions, we don't have ARC tutors. So if we provided them with the same academic resources, they would feel more at home, more accessible to things, and successful students here at UCR. Thank you.
I know for most people here, college has the social interaction, but academics is probably foremost for most of you. And I think specifically for CNAS, a lot of CNAS students are worried about what classes they will be eligible to take. It can be a very strenuous aspect of their college experience, trying to find a class which they can't exactly enroll in. And I want to make that my priority on top of being inclusive with the ASUCR community. I want students to understand that ASUCR is there to cater to their needs. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, so what I want to work on as CNAS Senator specifically, is really engage CNAS students in ultimately different clubs, organizations, sororities, fraternities, everything. Because I feel that with academics, CNAS students specifically are very academic oriented, and I feel that they're forgetting the resources that you get through organizations such as HPAC, the different pre-professional fraternities. There are so many different opportunities for them to get involved in peer mentors that really pull in students based on their passions, which is something so important to everyone. It's so important to really hold on to that passion and really go for it. And so that's what I really want to do to get people more involved on campus. I think that the most important aspect of this question is truly with representation. Representation lies in so many different forms. You know, CHAS is the biggest college population-wise here on campus, yet we really don't have as many resources as we should. I really want to work on increasing CHAS resources financially, through financial allocations, through academic support, more tutors at the ARC, SI sessions, and just really things that can help support CHAS students here on campus, because we're like maybe, I don't know, I'm throwing out some numbers here, maybe 70%, 80% of the campus college-wise. So that's something that's really, really important to me. And then also engagement with the larger community at whole. school with things like organizations and really outreach and getting students involved in the political process. You know, there should be an outlet for students to be able to submit questions and problems and us to be able to really respond to their concerns. And that's really where my issues will be in terms of chess.
Specifically for the CHAS school, I would do a lot of help for advisors. I know for a lot of people, we often wait 30, 40 minutes just to talk to an advisor. As a poli-sci major, I know I wait up to 40 minutes sometimes to get an advisor. And that's all fixable. And my party has been working on that for the last few years, actually. We're running on the Pride, Progress, and Empowerment, and for the school in general, we want to, a lot of the things we've already implemented, but some of the other things like free parking during finals week, increasing library hours, also acknowledging that this school is on Kauai land. These are all things that, include and bring in the larger campus as a whole and help everybody. So the Your Side Party and me and myself included are fighting for including all of the campus and making sure that CHAS students, me personally, take advantage of all the amazing resources that this school has to offer.
Okay, before we move on to the next question or the next group of students, opening up to the public, is there any questions that you guys like to ask in regards to the answers that they just gave? Any questions? Nope. All right. So, all right, moving on to the next group. Oh, next question. Okay, never mind. All right, moving on to the next question. Sorry. So the next question is, what kind of legislation or resolutions do you intend to introduce during your tenure at ASUCR?
Other than making sure that all students have the same access to academic resources, like all the different colleges having the same access, I think also that if we made a resolution where the orientations would be similar to each other. I know that for non-traditional orientation, it's not the same as traditional students, whereas people who are transfer students or commuters, they don't have the same experience, and so they don't feel as welcome to coming to UCR. And so if we made it so that all the orientations mirrored each other and were exactly the same, we'd welcome all our students and they'd feel united and feel like have that sense of community here at UCR.
In addition to my goal for political inclusion, one of my main goals would be to increase the power of the academic committee in the Senate, specifically how they can change class standing, how people can go in a class if they're waitlisted, make it more open for students to get in a class, especially for CNAS students again. So academic committee would be changed in my tenure as senator.
So one of the things that I really want to work on is a peer mentor program that is required for CNAS students specifically, because I feel that with the older upperclassmen, they have so much knowledge, so much wisdom, whether it comes down to different programs, internships, with professors, classes, just the way that CNAS really works. I really want to focus on getting that knowledge to younger students, because they ultimately are really, this sounds cheesy, is our future. So ultimately, I really want to work on this peer mentor program, as well as really increasing the transparency in ASUCR. A lot of students don't know who we are, what we do, what's going on in ASUCR. And I think especially with the last year's elections, like, we really need to emphasize the fact that we are here for students. We are not here for ourselves. We're here to really represent the students. And Orange Party honestly will represent the community by giving more opportunities for action and change. I think that there is so much power with legislation and with resolutions in general. You know, you're coming from a stance where you're making a very blatant statement, whether it's in support of free speech on campus, like with the recent statements of intolerance that condemn anti-Zionism as a form of anti-Semitism. It's a blatant thing against free speech here on campus, which is a problem. There are so many social justice and advocacy-oriented movements that have been pushed through legislation, one of them also being divestment from Israeli corporations here on campus. Also, Sabra hummus, getting them off the shelves, getting Nestle off the shelves, just so many ways to make an impact on the greater community as a whole, and really statewide, nationwide. Like, there is so much power with this, and there's a lot of legislation I've already worked to pass last year with things like cheaper textbooks for students. So I just want to continue with that with the Orange Party.
As important as me telling you what legislation I would like to pass, I would also like to refer to my party's amazing record of already passing legislation. We have experience, we have the know-how, and we have the way to get things done. Legislation that we're currently working on, for instance, saving heat. As you all know, heat was canceled this year, and it might be canceled every other year if someone doesn't do something about it. So that's something we're working on. Also, providing like a e-source for textbooks, so we wouldn't have to pay incredible fees for textbooks, because paying $120 a book isn't something that I want to do every quarter, and I'm sure a lot of you also don't want to do that. Or also working on, for instance, the Our Pantry and expanding that for students who have food insecurity, who don't know where their next meal is coming from. That's something we're working on as well, and that's something I'm personally working on with fellow members within your side, and that's something we'll continue doing when we're elected. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your answers. The next question will be, what kind of changes do you want to see happen to the structure of ASUCR?
The changes I'd like to see are that ASUCR is already doing a wonderful job, but I feel like we could do more to help the students. We could do more to reach out to the students. So I think that if we had members of UCR going out to organizations, going out to clubs, and really asking the students what changes they'd like to see on their campus, they'd feel more connected to us, or they'd feel like they had a voice in what was going on their campus. Because it's really sad to think that our students feel limited to what they can change on our campus. Like, they feel like they don't have a say in what goes on, and that's not true. We're really limited by our only limitation is the one we place on ourselves. And with the Orange Party, I feel like we can bring a sense of community where students feel like they have the opportunity for action. Thank you.
I agree with Anna Paula. I think that ASUCR has done a lot of good things for the campus community, but I think transparency needs a lot of work. I see some senatorial candidates saying that their party has done a lot, but it seems to me that a lot of students don't think that their message is getting out to ASUCR. I want to make ASUCR extremely transparent. I'm the only independent candidate on stage right now. And you should know that if I do become a senator, transparency will be 100%. There's no way for me to include myself in some sort of large party in which I can hold information from the students. I'm with the students 100%, and that's my message.
Okay, can I actually clarify the question? Is it the actual structure that you're referring to for ASUCR? Like the actual personnel structure, the overall?
It could be ASUCR in general.
Okay, so one of the things I really want to do is get more students involved. A lot of students don't really go out of their way to look to get more involved on campus, and whether it's through ASUCR specifically, I want to bring in students. I feel that right now ASUCR is kind of like Narnia. Like, you don't really know what they do, who they are, like what's going on behind closed doors, and I really want to open that up to the students. Like, I want students to want to come to school and really want to stay here on campus and be in the office and be excited to be here, excited to implement change. And I think the best way to do that is to get everyone involved rather than just the students that come looking. We want to look for students. We want students with the shy voices, the great voices, the voices that everyone can hear. You really want those types of students. You want everyone and to be included in this. And I think with ASUCR right now, maybe not so much. I feel that we could do it by going for the community and really including the community for opportunities for these different actions and changes that we want to give to our environment.
I think that transparency is a word that gets thrown around a lot, especially during election season. And I think how you can actually work on actual transparency, you know, things like publishing a forum on the Highlander as to what's actually going on a weekly basis in ASUCR. You can't expect students to come to you and come to Senate meetings and come to the office, you know, as great as office hours are, it can be intimidating and inaccessible to students. So really just doing basic things like tabling and really outreaching to different organizations is really what you can do to actually reach out to students and get them involved in the political process. I think another thing is creating more committees that work on things that the regents are working on, like investments and I don't know, various things that involve social justice oriented and advocacy oriented movements. You know, we should really be involved in all these aspects of the community and really provide support for the students and what they want to see and provide solutions.
You know, while I totally agree that transparency is a wonderful thing, I think the most important thing for ASUCR to have is accessibility. Because students need to be able to come and talk to you face to face, you know? I don't want this to be the last time that you guys see me for the rest of the year. I want you to be able to, you know, come up to me and have a conversation because I'm one of you. I'm just a normal person. I'm running for your interest. I'm running to represent you guys. So my party is actually trying to get this thing implemented where we have office hours at the bell tower. So it's much more accessible and much more easier for students to come and say, hey, you know, I have this issue, I have this project, this idea that I want to work on. Can you please help me and what can we do about it? And I think that's something that's very important and that's something that's very doable as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you candidates for your answers. The next question is the following. If you were elected, would there be any other responsibilities that might supersede your responsibilities as senator of your college?
Currently, I'm involved in a newly founded organization, Alpha Delta Pi. I was on the executive office when it was founded, so I feel like a lot of the things that I had to do were revolved around communicating with girls who were really new to sorority life, and I felt like I helped them involve themselves in something that was so new and something that was so disconnected from them. And in the same way, I feel like I could connect BCOE students back to the rest of UCR and back to the rest of student life, because they feel disconnected right now, but with the same communication skills I used in my time in helping in my position in the sorority, I feel like I could do the same for my own college.
Sorry, just before the next candidate answers. To clarify, the question is asking if you were elected, not only would you be senator, would you have other responsibilities, such as would you have another job, would you have another club involvement, anything like that? All right, thank you very much.
If I'm elected senator, there wouldn't be any other large commitment that I would have. Being senator would be my main commitment by far. Obviously, being a student here is, you know, the #1 priority. But as far as any organization, I'm not affiliated with a fraternity or sorority, which takes time from a lot of senatorial candidates I'm aware of. I will be only involved in campus organizations at the member level. So being a senator will definitely be my main priority. And with that, I hope to enact change better than some candidates that just don't have the time.
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Sorry. Okay, so if you're elected, would there be any other responsibilities other than your responsibility as senator that would supersede your... Sorry, let me say that one more time.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so if you were elected, would there be any other responsibilities or any other involvement you would have that would supersede your responsibilities as senator of your college?
Okay, I feel that being a well-rounded student, which means being involved in clubs, different organizations, being academically aware, and as well as being an advocate for the students is important. I think that these obligations won't supersede, but will help my position and really help me honestly get to the core of different issues that students have, reaching out to different students, different organizations that not only I'm involved in, but my friends are involved in, by expanding your network and by expanding people that you talk to, you only gain momentum with different issues. And I think by being able to have these different obligations that go along with your senatorial obligations, it can only help you succeed in advocating for student issues that really matter to the students on this campus rather than anywhere else in like California or anywhere else. Since I stepped foot on campus, I've had to juggle a lot. To be quite frank, I've interned 10, 20 hours a week with one of my organizations. I've taken on positions with like housing and different ASUCR committees. And I think the key thing is that these past 2 years I've been here, I've taken on different positions and taken on different roles of communication. But going into the next year, I will be taking on a membership role rather than executive role, because I realize that you need to commit 110% to whatever you're doing. And really, going into a senator position will be furthering the work that I've already been doing, the work that I've already been working to progress different movements and different advocacy missions, I guess, that I'm passionate about. So this is just a furthering of what I've been working on campus already.
For me personally, the only responsibility that would supersede my ASUCR position is my responsibility to family. For me, family comes first. Other than that, I'm on this job 24/7, 365. You guys are electing me for a reason. It's to constantly advocate and constantly fight for things to get passed, legislation to get passed, projects to work on, and that's a round-the-clock job. I can't, just say that I have other things that are more important than this, because I'm not representing just myself. I'm representing all of you that are voting for me. So, like I said, the only thing that would supersede it is family, because for me, family comes first. Other than that, this job is my number one. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your answers, candidates. And the last question for this group: why are you interested in becoming a senator for your college?
I'm interested in becoming a senator for my college because I feel like it is such a small group of people that really don't feel, a lot of us just are so consumed with the time commitment and the demand that it is to be a BCOE student, and so we don't feel like we know necessarily who to communicate our concerns about our college experience to, how to communicate those concerns necessarily. And so if I were to be that liaison for my fellow Highlanders and for my fellow BCOE college, I'd be able to make sure that those students feel like they can speak up, they know how to play a role in their college experience, because it's what you make it, and being in a small college does not limit your power here on campus.
I've always been interested in policy making because that's the way not only campuses but our law bodies in this country enact change. And the Senate is the only policy making body on campus. And for me to enact change, I need to be a senator, not only to vote on referendums, but just to make sure that the students know what changes are taking place on campus. So for policy making, it would be my number one, I guess, interest in being a senator.
So first and foremost, the Orange Party doesn't want to be politicians. We don't want to be politicians. We want to be public servants and student advocates. We really want to be here for your issues. So one of the reasons that I want to be senator is I want to give the shy voices, the quiet voices louder. Like, I want to give them microphones and really let them speak on their issues and really give them a platform for going deeper into their passions and realizing this is what I want, this is the change I want on campus, and this is what I want to do. I want to give people that bridge, that opportunity to really change campus, because I feel that a lot of students, specifically in CNAS, don't really look up from their studies. It's a lot. Academics is a lot in CNAS. We are constantly studying, and if we're not studying, there's something going wrong. So I'm trying to really emphasize the fact that these students have a voice on campus. They have somewhere to go. They have a bridge to cross to get to administration.
I don't think that it's the position that makes the change. I think it's you that does it. And I think it's more so about empowering other students and other communities to really fight for the change that they want to see here on campus and off campus. I think it's about facilitation and really listening to students and their concerns and responding to these concerns and really providing solutions. It's about actually making change and having something to back up what you are saying. Anyone can say things, throw out phrases and sound good, but I think it's really the action that you take to back it up and taking action within your communities and outside of it that you really make the biggest impact. And that's why we're here. We're not here to keep with the status quo. We're not here to keep things going as usual, keep things progressing as normal. We're here to make a significant change and a difference here on campus, and that's why I'm running personally.
Whenever you see issues or problems on campus, the mentality I feel among a lot of students here is somebody else will take care of that. And one day you wake up and you realize that you are a somebody. So somebody, me, I decided that there are issues on campus that need fixing, and I could be a voice for my fellow students because I've worked among them for the last 2 years. I've been in organizations. I've helped legislation get passed. I've advocated for issues that were important to me, and I realized that I could be an even bigger voice if I ran for ASUCR. At the end of the day, you're voting for someone who's fighting for you. So make sure that you're voting for someone who understands what you want, who can relate to you, who is one of you, who can get things done, and who has the experience and the understanding to push through what you want to see on this campus. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates, for your answers. At this time, I would like to welcome the new group of candidates to take the stage right now. So thank you very much. Give them a hand, everybody. Question. All right. The first question is, what kind of legislation or resolutions do you intend to introduce during your tenure as senator of your college?
That's a great question. Something that I want to tackle for me personally, because I'm a student in BCOE, is the student retention within my college. Engineering is a very difficult pathway to choose in college, and we see that out of the first 2 years within the program, we see a lot of students drop out. And the main thing is that it's very easy to get to fall behind with our rigorous coursework and our load. Something that a solution to this is make it easier to get classes so we can catch up if we do fall behind. And one way to combat this is to partially open up learning community classes, because for first year learning communities, it's reserved for specific students, and it makes it difficult for other students to obtain those classes. If we partially open up the classes, then we'll be...
So I have to move on to the next candidate now. Thank you.
So I'm a part of your side, and we already have our gear, and that was something that, because we noticed that students on campus, it's cold and they might not be able to afford a sweatshirt and also have pride on campus. And so I also want to tackle food insecurity here on campus, and I want to work with dining. And so I wanted to implement that during finals week, that we would work with dining, because they're already wasting some food, and that we would give that to our students here, because no kid should worry about where their next meal is coming from.
Hey everybody, I'm Bo Young, and this is an issue that I can talk about personally, because before I met my team at your side, I was already working on some legislation at the school. Right now I'm working on getting a free Uber program to try to reduce the amount of muggings and all the drunk driving problem we have here at UCR. I'm also working with CNAS students right now to help find ways to make sure that we don't dump our chemicals in our lab in ways that can really hurt the environment. And together with your side, I'm going to find more and more ways to make the CNAS process, easier, because our classes are hard enough. We don't have to make it hard on our students, but from the administrative side. Thank you.
Hi everyone, you've heard it a lot. We've been talking about student involvement. I want to create legislation and different ways to get students involved. Okay, so through that, student involvement would get everyone to come out and,
Would you like to
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Yes, definitely.
Damn.
Also, just a general reminder, if you guys like me to repeat any of the questions, please feel free to ask me. All right? So again, the question is, what kind of legislation or resolutions do you intend to introduce during your tenure? Yes, there we go.
Okay, so the kind of legislation or resolutions I want to introduce are about student involvement, getting more students involved in our campus and in our student government. I want to give students the voice that they can to empower themselves. Also, we shouldn't be worried about introducing a lot of new resolutions, but also fixing the resolutions that are already on our campus, such as improving our gear to not take away from student funds, but also include companies and other local businesses that are from Riverside, this way connecting the community outside to the community inside and building an overall community of students and their city.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your answers, candidates. All right, and to the next question. What kind of changes do you want to see happen to the structure of ASUCR or ASUCR overall?
Some changes that I want to see for the ASUCR, in the previous group it was touched upon briefly, is to have more transparency and more availability of the senators. And one solution that was brought up by your side is to have the office hours for senators outside, which I think is a great idea, but we also have to advocate that we have office hours in general. I'm a second year and I didn't know about senator office hours until I was chosen to run for this campaign. And we have to inform the students that these options are available to us. Thank you.
So your side last year started the free parking during finals week, and so I think a lot of students did not know about it. So as my job, because I am a film major, that I would actually make a commercial to like tell people about like all the stuff that we are providing them, so that they can be more aware and they can actually have these resources. And so free parking during finals week would be something that I would work on, because we already have that implemented.
Hello, everybody. One thing that my party, your side, has done a fantastic job doing already is trying to find more programs for a holistic awareness starting from freshmen. And that's something I really want to involve myself personally on, because as a freshman, I didn't know too much about ASUCR. And it's such a great resource for, you look at our gear, you look at all the programs they're doing. I just want to make sure that every kid at UCR knows, from the time he's a freshman to the time he graduates, that ASUCR is working for them. Thank you.
Three things: accountability, transparency, and responsibility. We need to let students know that they can hold their student representatives accountable. There are many ways to do that. If we're not doing our job, they can withhold our stipends. They can come to office hours and they can tell us what we need to do. Transparency, they need to know what we're doing. We need to publicize every kind of introduction of resolutions, any kind of change. We need to publicize it, and we need to do a better job of publicizing it. We also need to focus on responsibility. Our student government representatives have to know that they have a responsibility of the students. They need to be able to discuss and debate and give the students a voice. In the past year, there have been decisions that have gone without debate, without question, and student funds were dismissed and given away as easy as a simple vote.
All right, stop right there. Thank you so much. All right, thank you, candidates, for your answers. Really well answered. All right, the next question is, if you are elected, will there be any other responsibilities or involvement that might supersede your responsibilities as senator of your college?
When I get elected for BCOA Senate, the only responsibility that I have that will be above being a senator is my responsibility as a student to myself. And education is very important to me, and being from BCOA it's quite difficult. But I don't see it really as a weakness. I think it's one of my biggest strengths, because BCOA is a very underrepresented part of UCR, and only having two BCOA senators within ASUCR is something that I need to stand firmly about.
Me personally, I'm already a part of 4 different clubs, and a lot of the issues that I'm addressing in my clubs are stuff that I want to implement in Senate. A lot of the members that are a part of your side are already a part of different clubs, different fraternities or sororities, and the reason why each of us are chosen is because that we come from a diverse background, and so that we're already out there making change in our own communities. So each of us, when we're elected, we'll start making more changes as senator or president or vice president. Thank you.
Hi guys. When you think about a senator, you really want somebody that represents you, and I think that although I have many responsibilities within UCR, I think it's more of a asset that I can bring to ASUCR. I'm currently the president of one of the fraternities on campus. I'm a founder of a club, and I do these things. I represent over 120 people already, and what I want to do is I want to bring that asset to ASUCR and find ways to represent everybody. You know, because it's not something like a time commitment. No, I want to do this for everybody, and that's why I'm here running for ASUCR. Thank you.
The 2 possible things that would supersede being a senator would probably be my mental health and my academics as a student, because those are 2 issues that really need to be taken account. I'm a representative of the student, not a thing, and so in order for me to fully represent you, I should be in proper mental health and should keep up my grades. However, I do believe that students, that being a representative, you should also be involved in other organizations. I do not believe that being involved in organizations hinder your ability to represent, because you're representing a student body as a whole, and there's different aspects that you need to be a part of, and you're not going to be able to understand what students are feeling if you're not if you're not taking a peek into what their culture, their society, their community, and so that's why.
Thank you, candidates, for your answers. All right, and we're going to go on to the last question. Why are you interested to become a senator of your college?
Well, as a mentor to first-year engineering students and a member of the only engineering fraternity here on campus, I feel the heartbeat of BCOE. And because of that, I want to represent BCOE and communicate with the other colleges, because I feel BCOE is secluded from CHAS and CNAS, so we could build a better connection as a school as a whole.
As a woman, of someone that is of color, I'm Black, white, and Latina, and I realized that being on campus, that a lot of our voices, and being young, that our voices are often silenced. And so I want to be a senator that is obviously giving you guys the voice that you are usually silenced. And there's a reason why on our posters there's Snapchat, Facebook, and Instagram, because we want to get involved with you. We're going out of our way to make sure that your voices are heard and that you have a voice, and that's why you're electing each of us to represent you.
One thing about me going in, I actually didn't intend to join or run for ASUCR Senate first. I started working on a drunk driving program after one of my friends was convicted of a DUI. And I thought that this kind of program at UCR, or this kind of problem, shouldn't be a thing. So I started working on a program to try to get Ubers like USC and create a program where, we can stop this kind of thing, all the muggings. And I found out somebody already working at ASUCR on the same problem, Josh Lopez, who's running under our Your Side party for marketing. And we worked together on that, and he said, man, why don't you run for ASUCR? And I'm like, that's a fantastic idea, and I can find more ways to help UCR. That's why I'm running for CNAS Senate.
You've heard it once, you've heard it many times, but you're gonna hear it again. Student involvement. It's a really big issue that I really want to change on this campus and start on this campus, because once you empower a student and you give them a voice, you hear their issues and you hear the issues that they're passionate about, and you get them involved. And the more and more students you get involved, the bigger the community becomes. I'm running because in the past year, as the fellow for external affairs, I led marches and actions where I helped give students a voice, and I showed students that they can do more in their communities than just sit there and give ideas. They can like empower themselves. I'm also running with the Orange Party because we believe that we can build a community of leaders that together they can get the opportunity to share their voice and create change in action.
Thank you very much. All right, well, with that is the Senate debate for 2015-2016 school year. Thank you very much, all the candidates who came up here answering all the questions, and thank you for the public for attending this event.